6 teams are on a bye, playoff hopes are on the line, and every game matters. Let's go over Week 12. What's going on, guys? Stick Support here, back to another video. Today, like I said, we are going over the Week 12 games. And I'm not going to waste any more time. We're just going to jump right in. Alright, got AFC North matchup this week. Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Pittsburgh, they're coming off a win against the Baltimore Ravens. They now control their own destiny in the division. And really, they control their own destiny right now when it comes to seeding as well, because they still have to play the Chiefs. If they can beat the Chiefs and win the rest of their games, they'll have a higher seeding than them. Scary to think. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, when is it going to be time for the offseason? It's just been a rough season for them. And I don't know where this team goes from here. And it's even worse last week because they passed for almost 400 yards, scored 14 points, and still lost by 21. It's not great. It's not looking good for Cleveland right now. I'm going to go Pittsburgh. Kansas City taking on Carolina. Kansas City, wow. I did not see them losing a game this year. I kept saying they were going to go undefeated. I was wrong. Now you're taking on a Carolina team that is, 1, coming off a bye, 2, has just won 2 straight. It's not going to be 3. Give me Kansas City. Minnesota taking on Chicago. Chicago, their playoff hopes are fading fast. They started out the season strong, but now they've lost 4 straight games. They want to have a chance at sniffing the postseason. They've got to go on a run. Minnesota, meanwhile, they're coming off a win. Exactly what they need to do. They have got to keep pace with the Lions and hope that the Lions slip up at the end of the season and they could take this division from them. But they got to do their thing. Give me the Vikings over the Bears. Tennessee taking on Houston. For Houston, getting Nico Collins back was exactly what they needed in that receiving core. Stephon Diggs is out for the season. And really, with Collins, he is their number 1. Needed him, and they got him back. And hopefully they can avoid the collapse that we have seen from the AFC South the last 2 seasons. Tennessee, meanwhile, they can't wait for the offseason. It's just been rough for them, and I think the biggest question for them in the offseason is definitely going to be what to do at quarterback. Do they stick with Will Levis for another season, or do they move on? As for this game, give me Houston. Detroit taking on Indianapolis. Anthony Richardson got the start last week, and he responded with 3 total touchdowns. The last one giving them the lead with under 50 seconds left, and the Colts were able to win against the Jets. Now you're facing the Lions team that is just red hot right now. I'm not even going to say what they did to Jacksonville last week. I'm going to go with Detroit on this one. But Indianapolis, if Anthony Richardson, if we can start to see more of the good from him, Indianapolis may have a chance to sneak into the playoffs. New England taking on Miami. For Miami, that offense got exactly what they needed with Tua coming back. But with them at 4-6, they are really going to have to start getting a run going. They got to start winning some games and just keep piling them up. It's going to be rough, and I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. Meanwhile, for New England, Drake May, he's not looking too bad. He's not looking too bad as a rookie quarterback for the Patriots. Yeah, they definitely have a future there. This one's going to be a tough one. At the end of the day, I went with the home team and the Dolphins. Tampa Bay taking on the Giants. Giants coming off a bye. Tampa Bay coming off a bye. For the Giants, Tommy DeVito is back at the starting quarterback. The Daniel Jones era is all but over in New York. Meanwhile, for the Buccaneers, they have got to get some wins. They've got to turn it around in order to fight for this division. They're still in it, but they've got to put some wins together. I say they got the job done. Get the win over the Giants. Dallas taking on Washington. Washington, this is a focal point of their season right now. They have lost 2 straight. Jaden Daniels is still not quite 100% after suffering that rib injury. And now you're facing off against the division rival in the Cowboys that their season's all but over at this point. You have to take advantage of this. Get the win. I'm going with the Commanders in this one. They need this one. Denver taking on the Raiders. For Denver, Bo Nix is just playing better and better every single week, which is kind of shocking because everybody kind of wrote him off when the Broncos took him 12th overall. Everybody was expecting him to fail, and so far he has risen to the occasion. The Broncos, they keep playing like this, they are going to the playoffs. Meanwhile, for the Raiders, it's another team that's just had a long season. And it's another team where, what are they going to do at the quarterback position during the offseason? I'm going with the Broncos on this one. San Francisco taking on Green Bay. San Francisco, they suffered a tough division loss to the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith rushed for a touchdown with 12 seconds to go, and that was all she wrote for that game. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, they still find a way to win over the Bears. A blocked field goal at the end to get the win. I'm going to go with Green Bay on this one. I say they have a little bit of a bounce-back game because against the Bears, it was not their best performance. Arizona taking on Seattle. Seattle, they are right back in it for this division. And Arizona's coming off a bye. They're actually leading this division. I said Arizona could surprise some people this year, and I'm glad I was right. Arizona's playing really good football. They are getting wins when they need to get wins, and that's why they're winning this division, and I have them beating Seattle on the road. Philadelphia taking on the Rams. It's going to be the Sunday night game, and for the Rams, it's just a really tough team to figure out what they're going to do every single week because it seems like they're a different team every single week. It's just tough trying to figure that out, and I don't know what the Rams are going to do following this season because guys are starting to get older and got to start figuring out the future with them. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they now have a good lead in the NFC East. Hopefully they can keep it together. I'm going with the Eagles over the Rams. Alright, and our Monday night game is going to be Baltimore taking on the Chargers. For the Chargers, they are playing good football. Their defense is stopping opponents, and their offense is doing something different every week. One week it's Justin Herbert in the passing attack. Another week it's going to be J.K. Dobbins in the rushing game. This is a very balanced team right now. Jim Harbaugh has done a very good job in his first year as Chargers head coach. And just like the Broncos, if they keep playing like this, they will make the playoffs. Meanwhile, for Jim's brother John, his Ravens team lost to the Steelers for the 8th time in 9 games. Why do they continue to play like this against the Steelers? Their defense finally showed up, preventing the Steelers from getting into the end zone, holding them to 6 field goals. But offensively and special teams, that's what let them down. 3 turnovers, none of which were on Lamar Jackson, by the way. And then 2 missed field goals by Justin Tucker. If one of those go through, Baltimore wins the game. It's about as simple as that. There's no other way around it. It's a tough one right now for the Ravens. They've got to bounce back. Unfortunately, I just don't see that Monday night going across country. Give me the Chargers. Alright guys, those are my thoughts on Week 12. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.